Hey everybody, welcome back to the Maniac. Today I'm going to do a really quick demo on a Rose Quartz nail. I am going to be using bloom gel to do this, so gel polish and bloom gel. I'm going to be using some of the Mission Control gel paints from Young Nails. I am doing this on a just a full well tip. I'm actually about to shoot a video of how to apply nail press-on nails, so friends of mine that I've made them for have a guide of how to apply them. So anyway, I was just making this nail just so I could do the video of how to apply them on myself, and I thought, well, I'll go ahead and show you guys while I'm here. So anyway, so what I've done is I went ahead and I did buff off the nail. I did put down a coat of the clear Maniac base that comes in a pot. I use that on all of my press-on nails just to give a nice even layer. I use a lot of the time under gel polish manicures if I have clients come in. That way when I'm filing off the gel polish on a natural nail, I can file off and then I still have a clear coat there. I'm not getting too close to their natural nail. And so that I love that. It's I actually need to get a new one soon. But anyway, so all I've done so far is put down my clear base. You could use just a regular gel base coat, that's fine as well. And then I started with one coat of this Luxa Polish Sheer Bliss, and I love this color. It's handy for so many things. It does great French and all that kind of stuff. So I have one coat of this down. It's just really sheer. I don't want to make it too crazy. And then I'm gonna grab out my liner brush. This is from Young Nails, the Young Nails liner brush. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our Bloom Art Gel, which this one is from Luxa, but you can use any blooming gel. And we're going to go ahead and put a fairly thin and even coat. So I want it to be super even. And, you know, I don't want it super thin, but I definitely don't want it to be goopy because then it makes the nail all like bumpy. So when I put this on, I'm concentrating on the edges because those are the hardest when you're using it on a tip. If you're using this on your natural nail, then just make sure you get a nice even coverage on there and not too thick. And we are not going to cure this because this is where we're going to start working our design. So I have my liner brush and my white Fizz Mission Control gel paint from Young Nails. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and dip my brush in here, and you can see I'm kind of pulling it. I really want it to coat that brush, and I'm pulling it through because I don't want any big you know, globs of the paint to be sitting on there. So take this off here because this is easier. So what I'm doing is I'm going to go ahead and just pull the design in with the brush then. So I tend to use kind of the tip of the brush mostly. I don't want it to be too thick, and I want it to be, this is not like a straight line because that's not what real rose quartz looks like. And I can push harder to kind of make it thicker. So I'll go thicker in some spots and then I'll pull back and make it a little bit thinner. And then as you can see, that is going to kind of start to spread with the bloom gel that's on there. So I'm just kind of making some sort of veins here, and there's really no rhyme or reason, just whatever I feel like looks good. So go put a little bit here. And again, I'm not making straight lines. I'm just kind of wiggling it back and forth, weaving it through. And we are going to do this twice so that we have a really nice kind of layered look to it. And you'll see when we get to it how well that works and how much of a difference it makes. Because, well, if you left it like this, like it looks fine. You can see the veins, that's kind of spread out. And so it is definitely looking like a rose quartz. But what we're going to actually do is go ahead and layer on top of this to give it kind of that dimension. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a 60-second cure. All right, so that's had 60 seconds in there to go ahead and cure that bloom gel. So here's where we are at so far, and it looks nice. I'm very pleased with how it's come out. What we are gonna do though is go ahead and I'm gonna put another coat of this sheer pink over top. And this is just a really light, thin coat. So I'm gonna make sure I get it all over, and I'm just pulling it all the way down, and I'm pulling it real thin. Okay, so I want it to be nice and thin, even coat, because we don't want it to goop on here, because then it'll be like darker pink on one side, lighter pink on another. Actually, just pull through over here real quickly. Okay, and I'm going to cure that for 60 seconds. All right, so that is all set and ready to go. I'm going to go ahead with the bloom gel, and I'm going to go ahead and put another fairly thin, even coat here. There are lots of ways that you can actually achieve this look too. You can use alcohol inks, you can use just regular gel paint. You don't need the pot paints per se. You could use just like a regular, this is my Sparkle & Co. regular white. You could use that. I put it on here just because it's a little easier, but you could use it straight out of there. Okay, so we've got that bloom gel, nice even coat. And I'm gonna go ahead and go in for my next layer. Now, I did get out some of Discovery, which is the silver Mission Control paint, and I'm gonna show you how I add a little extra pizzazz. So you can do it with or without the silver, either way. So let me show you just real quick what I mean. If you go and just pick up like this, you've got kind of big glob at the end. If that'll focus, see how big glob at the end? That's why I'm pulling through. So I want it to be nice and even. Even if I have to keep going back to get more, I would rather it be a nice even coat. So I'm not going to necessarily follow these lines that I had before. I'm actually going to kind of make a whole other set of lines. Some places I will follow them, just because if you do the whole thing, it'll kind of start to look too busy, in my opinion. I definitely am, you know, not gonna go over it though 100%. So I don't want it to be in exactly the same design that it is underneath. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pull these through here. And again, I'm just kind of wiggling it around. I don't really have any rhyme or reason as to how this is being put on. And then what I'm going to do is I just have a lint-free wipe with a bunch of alcohol on it there. So I'm going to go ahead and wipe my brush, and then I'm going to get some of that silver gel paint. And just a little bit, it's just kind of a highlight. I'm going to put some of that in here too. And it's just sort of a little extra something. So I'm going to put that in there. And the bloom gel, you know, it takes some time to kind of spread. So just take your time with it. And as soon as it looks the way you want it to, that's when you're going to go ahead and pop it into that light and cure it. So again, I don't want this to be too much. I'm just kind of finding little places. I do kind of follow this along the side of the lines that I have already, because it's kind of an accent to what is already there. Okay. All right. So that looks good. Kind of clean that off. I like it. And I'm just going to give that just another minute here. I'm kind of waiting for that gel to really disperse. If it's not going quickly enough, or you say, you know what, gosh, I really don't like this big blob right here. Let's just say, I don't mind it, but let's just say, for example, you didn't. You can really easily just take your brush and just really lightly touch it until it looks how you want it. So if we want to take some of that off, wipe it. And just be careful when you do this, because the more you wipe off, the more your you know, you're changing the shape, it's not going to be smooth, which is really easy to fix. You can either kind of hold it upside down and wait a few seconds for it to kind of make its shape back. If that doesn't work because you've taken a lot more off, that's okay. Once you cure it, you could remove the inhibition layer, and then you can go ahead and file or buff the top until it has smoothed out. So you're going to put a top coat on it, and then you'll file the top coat and then re-top coat it at the end. So this one's looking pretty good. I think I like how that is. So 60 seconds in my lamp. Okay, there we go. All right, so from here, if you like the look of the white looking kind of more pinkish, you could put another thin coat of this sheer pink. I actually like it where that first layer we did looks sort of pink and buried under there, but I like the top layer to look a lot whiter. So I'm actually done with this, and I'm gonna go ahead and top coat it. So just real quick top coat here, and I'm using, this is a Sparkling Co gel top. I love their top coats. Their matte top coat is probably my favorite one I've ever tried. I just ordered the Luxa matte top coat, which will be here tomorrow, so I'm excited to try that out. But the Sparkling Co matte is my favorite, and this one is the gel top, so this is a shiny top coat, and it's no wipe, so I love that about it. It's just done when it comes out. So 60 seconds. Okay, and we are all done. So I love this look. I'm kind of obsessed with it right now. It's just so pretty, and there's cool things you can do with it. You can add some crystals to it. Like I was saying, this is the point where if it's gotten kind of lumpy, like mine's pretty smooth, so I'm okay with it. If it has gotten kind of lumpy because you were going in there fixing things and pulling off some of that bloom gel and it's got some kind of divots to it, this is the point where you could take a file, and I would take kind of a finer grit, maybe a 180 or a 240 grit file, and go ahead and just file that just like you would you were finished filing it, to get all those divots out, and then you would re-top coat it and it would be ready to go. So thank you so much for joining me today. I really hope you enjoyed this quick little demo. If you have a different way that you do this that works for you, feel free to let us know down in the comments. I'm all about sharing, and there's a ton of different ways to achieve things depending on what stuff you have. So if there's anything you'd like to see coming up, you can leave that in the comments down below as well. As always, don't forget to subscribe, hit that gray bell for notifications so you don't miss any upcoming content. I'm going to be reviewing the jelly tips from Kiara Sky. I just got those in the mail yesterday, so that review will be coming up. So hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss out. Thanks so much for joining me again. Come on over to Instagram and hang out with me, and we'll check you next time on the Maniac.